Hello. Back in September of 2020, I interviewed BT for the Why We Bleep podcast, of course, which you listen to. And in it, he said something that has stuck with me for a very long time. I'm still mulling it over now. I think you need to hear this.
So the final thing I'm going to say about this, that I hope, to people that listen to this, it will be helpful, is the reason I'm able to make so much music, and the time management stuff, the way the studio's organized are both incredibly important. Really comes down to one thing, is my auto loads. That it's quite literally a couple power switches and everything is at unity volume. Everything has MIDI assigned to it. Everything has a bespoke compressor, EQ starting place on it. All my effect sends are all set up. So I literally, in a couple clicks of power switches and then launching an auto load for whatever that task is, I'm ready to write and record.
Pardon? BT has a room with loads of different setups, and he treats them as individual kind of spaces for particular purposes. But what he just said about auto loads, he's referring to the fact that the systems can boot up and just be ready to go without any intervention. And I've been listening to a bunch of books about habits. And there's one thing about habits, which is that if you want to form good ones, then you need to make it easier for them to occur. Make it easy to do the thing that is a good habit. Make it harder to do the thing that is a bad habit. And if a good habit would be using all of the gear that you've bought, then a bad thing would be leaving it unconnected in any way, shape, or form, and not making it part of some kind of cluster for a purpose. And what you see here is just the cluster of gear that I am assembling for a hardware purpose, with a sequencer, with some certain chosen elements which can move and flux. But the key fact is, for this to work when I am a very busy person, I have a life, I have a family, I have a job, and I have a YouTube channel. For me to stand the slightest chance of ever writing music again, then I need to make the barrier between me going, I feel like making some music, and me actually being able to make music as short as possible. And I can't remember if BT says this in the podcast, and let's just say he does, but it's 20 seconds. The rule is, if it takes more than 20 seconds to power up and use a thing, you probably won't. That's it. Make it easy and it will become habit. Put the device that records your setup right there so that you can just go bip and push the button and record, throw up the faders and turn everything on and record. Another thing he says in this podcast is how he uses downtime when he doesn't feel creative to iron out his auto loads and iron out the cabling and make patches and do things that are a gift for himself in the future. It's a gift because it will be easier for him to just rock up and make music within 20 seconds because of the work that he did when he didn't feel creative. So if you don't feel creative, make your creative space so that when you do feel like going, I want to make music, well, then you don't. Because if you have to set it all up from scratch, or if something isn't right, something isn't ready to go, you won't do it. I know this so firsthand. 20 seconds. Thanks very much.